This was an excellent trip. We were picked up at front door of our hotel. Our driver Christopher spoke excellent English and chatted on the 50 minutes drive, telling us ancient history of the area we were passing through and pointing out places of interest. We arrived at the camp and were introduced to our guide Thomas. The tour took 2 hours. Again, his English was excellent and he was very knowledgeable. It was a lot of walking in heavy snow. We ended up back at the minibus to go home. I personally felt 2 hours was enough for the tour but would have appreciated extra time to go back to spend more time alone to read and look at exhibits without the guide. We were left back to the door of our hotel. I had not heard of Stutthof prior to visiting Gdansk. It is a really important part of history. Seeing the site covered in snow was also really impactful, as it showed what the camp might have been like in winter and just how hard life must have been. We had a guide who spoke fair English and told many stories. It can seem a little rushed if you are trying to read the text on the displays, but it was manageable. The drivers were prompt, picking us up at both ends, and the drive from the hotel to the camp goes through really pretty countryside. For a really impactful visit, make sure to leave time to visit the World War II Museum in Gdansk after visiting Stutthof. We were picked up as communicated from the hotel by our driver Simon. Both Simon and the guide Olga were very respectful to our needs. As an example, we were provided umbrellas to protect us from rain and we got nice tips about restaurants and food to eat. We traveled to the site where our guide Olga gave us an excellent tour. A lot of the text is not available in English, so we were very happy about our decision to have a guide. Olga had a never-ending knowledge of Second World War and was able to answer all of our questions. It is a sad part of history, but important to be aware of. The guide and driver arrived on time, and right from the start they both gave us lots of information on Gdansk and the history of Poland, also recommending places to visit whilst here. Once at the camp, our guide, sorry I'm really bad with names, think it was Melik, walked us around the camp, explaining about the history behind the camp being built, and the location's previous use. He went on to explain the building of the camp, and day-to-day life there. I found the trip very moving and informative. I would recommend it. Thank you. Stutthof was very interesting place to understand what happened to our Jewish brothers and other international captives that were held there and murdered. Our tour guide, who gave us a private tour in English, was very informative and respectful. He knew everything about the camp. Also, our shuttle driver Christopher was very nice and very knowledgeable about Poland. He gets 5 stars along with our English-speaking guide at the camp. I highly recommend Mr. Shuttle and the Stutthof private tour. Everything was amazing. Simon the driver's good wealth of knowledge before we went to the camp. Excellent knowledge of the area. Amazing driving to get us out of traffic jams and rush hour. I had Simon for 2 trips and different knowledge both days before I went to the destination. So easily seen he does his homework and not make up anything, like some tour companies. Thanks for making this a memorable occasion. This tour is a must-do. We were picked up at our hotel. The driver was friendly and knowledgeable about ancient history of the area. The tour guide at the camp spoke excellent English and was very knowledgeable. The tour took 2 hours in heavy snow. There was a lot of walking. I would personally have liked more time to go back and revisit some spots to read and look at exhibits, but our minibus was waiting at the end. Pickup was very early, 7:45 a.m., but worked out extremely well as got there early and ahead of the crowds. Had a very friendly, knowledgeable driver. Tour guide drive. Wolfgang was excellent, very passionate and informative. Ready to answer all questions. Tour not rushed and there was plenty of time to take photos. Bit expensive at the time of booking but well worth it. Highly recommend.